Hey guys, Tank here. We are live on YouTube using Zoom again today. We're quickly going to talk about the new truck that just came out, which is kind of cool, I think, and it's the Enduro Gatekeeper Builder's Kit. Uh, Now, Team Associated came out with a while ago with the Enduro platform, and it's evolved a lot. And a lot of people like it. They went small tires. They went a little bit bigger tires. They've came out with IFS for the front. Um, they came out with their new transmission that you can go overdrive in the front, and you can actually change the overdrive from a little bit more to a little bit less, which is kind of interesting. And Okay, sorry, I had to do something real quick with the buttons. So, um, it's a very interesting truck. What they came out basically, it's a rock racer. It is built on their platform, their enduro platform, which is neat because that um, truck, rock crawler truck or rock racer, actually has a frame on it, which is very interesting because you can actually flip the cage. There's a whole bunch of things. I watched Chris HemiStorm, the his video, very interesting, and he's going to come out with a running video also. And there's a couple other running videos right now on that platform. So let me just share the screen real quick, and we'll go to that, and we'll talk about that. So basically, you have the this is on their website. They've just released it, so it wasn't there about an hour ago. So refresh your page; it should be there. It's right there on their first page. So, and I do have a message. Hold on, let me check something. HemiStorm was hopefully supposed to jump in with me, but let's see if he can actually jump in. Do. Okay, so I invited him, so hopefully he'll be able to jump in. If not, well, go see his video. Awesome truck. He's done a nice paint job on that also, so it looks real cool. I did invite him on Zoom, so I don't know if he'll be able to do the Zoom thing. So I don't know if he's got the software installed or anything, but he said he might be able to jump in for a couple of minutes. So they've also done a press release for this, which is kind of interesting. On their press release, when you go to download manual, you actually get this that was actually released today, September 28th, which is really today. So it is a rock racer. They've got a whole bunch of different the trailing arms at the back. I think it's a very good option. What is neat with this platform is that they're evolving with it, and I like this because this means anybody that actually bought a enduro before can actually convert their truck to this, so they can have the trailing arm. Even though they have the other body, they could have this trailing arm on it with the sway bar. These are all things that are going to be available for purchase. So this is where this is very interesting to actually go with this platform. Like you can tell right here, this is the bottom plate of their Ascenter series. So these are the front links, and this is the motor plate, and here are your rear links where they originally go. But now they've actually came out with different plates that goes on the side, which is the gray plastic, which is actually hardened plastic. So that's going to be very interesting to actually see. And we do have HemiStorm that's with us. How you doing?
Hey, it's dark here, isn't it?
Yes, it's dark over there where you are.
Yeah, I'm walking over to my little shed.
Okay, I'll keep talking about the manual and a bunch of other stuff, and I'll talk to you when you come back.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. So this is very interesting because this platform can really evolve, and even their IFS series of their option that they have to upgrade, you could actually install this on here and actually make it work also. Having this small, to me, it's a small rock crawler because it's on the smaller form factor. So but it's theoretically going to be a little bit longer wheelbase than the Trail Walker or the other truck, but it's all can be anything your wheelbase really, because you can make it whatever you want. So it's got a lot of potential on this, that's for sure. They have this thing, and maybe we can talk to Chris about this, but this front thing here for the KNS package, an aluminum track bar mount. That's for the front suspension for the steering link. So that's very interesting, the way they've got it down. It's kind of interesting how they've done it. The way the body opens up, it's really nice and very, like, it swings up all the way. If you watch HemiStorm's video, you'll actually see what he's doing. It's really neat. Shock position. They've actually announced some different parts that they're having for hop ups, and these are the parts you're actually getting for this. These are the shock position that actually goes at the back. So that's why they were showing like there's new hop ups available, which are available for their other trucks, but now they're going to be releasing it for this truck here. So I actually got one on order, so hopefully it's going to get here soon. So behind the axle steering, this is a great idea. Everybody puts in the front. They were the first to actually bring it to the back, which makes complete sense. So this is a really good idea. So to complete, you do need a motor, you do need a servo, you do need all your electronics, basically your transmitter, your receiver, and things like that. So it's really neat. US, they're saying that their price is going to be about $299, which is fair. It's a fair for a kit. So that's not bad. But check out their website. They got a lot of different pictures on there that are really nice. And it makes a lot of sense going to this, especially you get all the hop-ups, all their hardened plastic that you get it with this truck. Plus you get the body. And HemiStorm was actually talking about getting from Proline, I believe it was, a body that actually fits on top of it, that you can make it your own truck and customize it the way you want it. So it's very interesting. So let's go to pictures. And so you have all interior, you have a whole bunch of stuff, but looks like Chris is ready. So there he is in his studio. Sorry to bug you late at night like this.
No worries. No worries. I just heard you say about the behind the axle steering. It was actually, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Because I'm on my phone, so I'm not sure how this Zoom thing works. I actually just installed it, so this is my first Zoom talk. But the first to actually come out with the behind the axle steering were HPI with the Venture.
Okay, I didn't know the Venture had that.
Yeah, they actually do.
Okay.
But nonetheless, they got a ton of innovative stuff in this Gatekeeper. And especially seeing that it combines the trail suspension, but that you can also set it up with independent front. Well, I think that is absolutely really cool.
Yeah.
I put the different body on here, so it doesn't look really recognizable as a Gatekeeper at the moment.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's what this hobby is about. It's about customization. And I know in your video,
if I can. Oh, hold on. Does this turn the camera around for you?
Yes. That's great.
So this is actually a Proline Chevrolet Colorado body.
Okay, that body was meant for what? Just a 1/10 trail truck, or what was it?
Yeah, trail truck. So usually it comes with this, with like a pickup bed.
Okay.
And with like side windows and a front bumper. The front bumper is usually molded in.
Now the cage is still there, right?
You said what?
The cage is still there. Everything in the cage?
So this is a direct fit if you do some heavy cutting and some heavy customization to that Proline body.
That's nice.
So I took the pins out. I can actually pivot it up. Or at least I think I took the pins. Yeah, I take the pins out. Hold on, I need to put you down 2 seconds.
That's cool.
So it's kind of like what I did to the Axial Bomber back in the day.
Yeah.
Because I was the first one to put that Ford F100 body on there. Because that was also a great cage to just start working with and to start some customization from. And this one is really no different because it's nice and narrow. So it allows for a lot more bodies to be put on there if you compare it to, for example, the Bomber. Yeah, so I'm well chuffed with what they actually did here, not just in the looks department, but in how it technically has evolved so far. Because that Enduro, that turned into such a versatile platform.
Bacco is saying in the live, and it says, if this is a live stream, it's not late. It's actually early at your place.
Early at my place?
Yeah, what time is it at your place?
It's, I think it is 9:45 or something. It's almost 10.
Yeah, 10 at
10
night.
10 in the evening, yes. I'm not sure what time he gets off of work or what time it's time to kick back over there. But
okay. No, it's just Bacco was saying that it's pre-recorded. It's actually 21:51 o'clock at Chris's place, so which is not.
Yeah, 21:51. Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not late at all, Frank. Well, I think it's pretty late.
Yeah.
But anyways, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm glad you came in with me. I really appreciate it. So there's a whole bunch of people. So yeah, that body fits directly on it, and that's what I like about that platform. It's going to be very interesting that they came up with their.
You need to do a lot of chopping to a body, and you need to really line it up with especially the front of the cage, so the windshield area. But when I saw how it actually how tilted that front windscreen is and how long the cage is, I thought that this Chevy Colorado body would actually be a perfect fit.
Yeah, it would.
Chopping that it fits on there nicely. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out.
Now I'm gonna have to get one, and I'm probably gonna have to do a custom body like that also. That's crazy.
And the stock body panels as well, really nice. Does take a bit of work to get them cut, because it is really strong, durable Lexan. I think what a lot of people don't realize is the minute you have vacuum form Lexan, like we usually find in, for example, a Proline body, is once it sort of like tapers in, you get like undercut where the Lexan becomes really thin, so it also becomes easier to cut. And these body panels, they come from, well, they're nearly flat, so I took the roof off. But you can tell that that's quite thick Lexan.
Okay.
It does take quite a bit of work to actually score it, snap it, sand it, drill the holes in, but you end up with a body that is super tough.
Okay. Cool. And how long did you do your running video yet with it?
No, I was actually going to do it today,
Okay.
but the weather really didn't cooperate. It's been pretty crappy weather here the past week.
So how's the flex on that with the back, with the
there's
arms?
not flex with that sway bar installed, which is also the way I think.
That's true. With the sway bar, the flex won't be there, but the sway bar is there for speed, anyways, to help you in the rocks and with speed. So.
Yeah, but it's basically if you are looking for flex, it's still one tire high, so that's basically where you want to have it.
Okay.
I'm not too big of a super flex fan, to be honest. Rather have a truck that sits a bit more planted, and
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Flex is good, but as soon as you have too much flex, and I've seen it so often on my trails, even when they try to do a hill climb and they have a lot of flex and it's very soft shocks, you see them flip. They just flip or they tilt over. They're always on their side. So they have their place.
So I find most trails you actually have an advantage if you can if you can kind of figure out when the chassis is going to tip,
Yep.
rather than needing to guess it based on flex, because you can't tell when it is going to pivot over, or when it's going to shift its weight. So I rather have a truck that rides a bit lower and that's a bit stiffer than having a truck that has flex like a slinky, to put it like that.
Okay. Travis Shoot Film says the great thing about Element coming out with this is they are testing the waters for specific group in the best way. So yeah, they've came out with a platform at the beginning that was really cool, but then they're evolving. Like they came out with IFS, they came out with thing, but they're keeping the same chassis, and they've came out with a hardened axle that you could buy as an upgrade. But now they've came out with a kit that has all those upgrades plus the trailing arms, the new trailing arms that they have, which are probably going to be available for the new trucks. So to me, that's very interesting where they're going.
Well, you can of course think a bit ahead, because I mean these are expensive molds to make for the trailing arms and all that stuff. So what's going to happen from here? And I mean, I know nothing, but if you go and speculate, right now it has trailing arms in the back. If you would put some trailing arms in the front, you could very easily actually set this up to be a monster truck.
Yeah.
So I think that there's some possibilities there. With the IFS, you can put the IFS, you can put that, turn it into IRS as well. And that way you basically have a complete independent suspension buggy. So that would also be an option if they would, well, take a cue from Axial and stretch the frame rails. Then you have a whole wide array of available body possibilities, perhaps. So yeah, I see some really cool things ahead, actually.
Yeah, I was so impressed. I tried the Element here on my trail the first time when they first came out with the 1.9, and then I tried the smaller one, the Trail Walker, and I'm so impressed how well it is, how well planted it is, and things like that, and how well it handles for an out of the box truck. I was very impressed.
I think what's also nice is that with everybody going the route of portals like Axial, that right now with the SE Extend version 3, I'm not sure if there will be a non-portal version as well, but well, Trax is doing it. Red Cat has done it with the Gen 8. So yeah, and then to see someone just coming with like a regular straight axle, that's also nice, I think, for a change.
Yeah, and I can always I can hear the people right now talking, and like especially the people say, "Where's the portal? Like, how come you don't have portals on that?" And I've seen
or at some point there will also be a portal, perhaps, because it's does like they are truly exploring every nook and cranny of what's possible. But what I really like with this Gatekeeper is that it really answers to a need that I think a lot of people had, which was, well, basically, like I said in my video, the Yeti was a great truck, but quite fragile, bit wide. The Bomber is, of course, an amazing truck, but it is a wide truck, and it is truly a rock racer. Yep. So if you that are just out trail trucking, you can't really tag along with them just because it's a different type of truck, right? And this Gatekeeper, it has the stock axle width. It's basically, well, almost the same length, except that it has a cage and it has trailing arms and it has an incredible suspension setup.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really like it, what they did.
Yeah, it's going to be nice to see it on the trail, anyways, especially for rock racers. And I hope it comes back like it was a while back, because when the Bomber came out, like everybody was doing rock racer races, and we were seeing videos of it, and it was very interesting seeing that style of racing. But it seems to have died down. It's just like Monster Truck. Monster Truck, they come back, they die, and then they come back again, and then they die. hopefully it will come back. All these people coming out with different rock racers like that. I hope people start more racing them. So it's going to be fun to see.
Yeah, I think that also has a bit to do with the location and with the type of events that we have been able to see. Well, especially of course this year it's been a bit difficult organizing thing. But back in 2017, 2017, Axial had a really nice rock racing course as well at Axial Fest. Not sure if they had that last year, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But it just seems like there's a bit less enthusiasm for those segments of the hobby. And perhaps a truck that really sits in between of everything size-wise, like the Gatekeeper, or kind of like crosses over into a few different segments, can spice things up again. I would really like to see that, actually.
Yeah. And going back with the portals, I've seen so many posts like people are just praising portals, and some guys are just coming. Portals are passe, or they're not required. If you learn how to drive your truck, you can go pretty much everywhere with it. To me, portals are training wheels. That's, to me, that's what portals are. They're training wheels. They're there to make it easier for you. So
Well, portals really have their place. Like, for
yeah,
example, the AP that I did recently, the CFXW, if I got that right. That's a really nice truck, and that one also comes with portals. But
okay.
they did what everybody had in like the earlier generation trail trucks, which is still using quite tall shocks. So you ended up with a truck that set up portals on really high shocks, and it looked like a skyscraper when it was done, because that truck is really nice. And when I was assembling it, like all the individual parts, really nice. And then when I came to the point where you needed to like put all those pre-assembled parts, but well, I pre-assembled them myself, but to put those together and to actually turn it into a truck, I was like, I don't know, because when I was done with it, I was a bit disappointed, I guess, with how it looked when it was completely done. Right now, I put some different wheels and tires on it, some different shocks, and it looks really nice. There's a video about that coming, I think, next week. But you will see that with a few minor tweaks, you can turn even a portal rig that may look a bit unattractive into something that looks really good.
Okay. That's interesting. That's cool. The,
I never thought I'd say this to you, but you got a nice rack, Francois,
I
behind
got
you.
a nice rack. Yeah, it's filling up. There's one truck missing here. I actually went to an event yesterday, and I brought my SCX10, which is still the first version.
Okay.
Myself, I've upgraded my Gen 1 SCX10,
Yeah.
and the SCX10 2 came out. I did not buy it. The SCX10 3 came out. I did not buy it. And people ask me why. How come you're not changing it? I go, this does what I need to do. Like, there's no reason for me to buy one. So
Well, that's how I am with phones. But I can tell you honestly, from the bottom of my heart, if you have an SCX10 version 1, get an SCX10 version 3, just because you will really love building it. It's so well thought out.
yeah, well, a friend of mine lent me his Gladiator, and actually, my video is going live. The running of it, it's premiering tonight at 5, which in an
Yeah.
hour from now. And it's he lent it to me for me to unbox it and show it off, see how it was. And I actually went on my trails and actually tried it on my trails, because I have nice trails at the back, and it performed very good. I'm very pleased on how it performed and all that. But the only thing kind of that I didn't like too much is the portal axle, because to
Okay.
me it's
Well,
it
then this Gatekeeper is absolutely the ticket. There's so many nice small variations out
yeah,
right now in what is being offered in trail trucks, that there's really something for everybody. Traxxas, of course, has really managed to tie a lot of people to them, but uh, I don't feel like that's really taken away from like the core part of the hobby, because
Mhm.
there's a lot of people who used to drive a Slash and who wouldn't in a million years touch an SCX10 or an
Yeah.
Element Enduro, and they have gradually sort of transferred over
Yeah.
into the slower segment, to put it like that. And I'm thinking that they will also see the appeal in, for example, this Gatekeeper, and I also see the appeal in, for example, an Axial Bomber.
Mhm.
So that's really cool. So I feel that the whole hobby is still growing and still developing, and that is absolutely a good development.
Oh yeah, in the past 5 years, there's so many great evolvement and evolution that we've seen going on. It's just fun to watch.
Now as well with well, of course, a lot of people having to adjust their holiday plans, their vacation plans. A lot of people having like a really different day-to-day life. Well, you see that trail trucks, but every type of RC is just flying off the shelf just because people want to stay busy. And what I think is nice with a trail truck is that it actually keeps you active.
Hmm. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so it's a good development.
I hate just change subject, but YouTube has changed a whole bunch of things for live streaming and things like that, and how you can pre-announce that you're going live. So they've all changed that now. So it kind of, I got two live stream going on, one that's actually live and one that's waiting for me to go live, which is
Okay.
kind of weird. So I just had that in my back my mind. I just want to mention that. So sorry for the people that are actually waiting on the other one, because it's not going to happen
Okay.
because I'm on this one. Um, or
If you have it's about the truck, just let me know, or if you want to see something.
Yeah, well, flip. Can you flip the cage real quick, or is it tied up, or underneath? All right.
There we go.
Yeah, let me put you in gallery view.
Does it help if I tilt my if I tip my phone 90
Yeah, try
degrees?
it.
Hold on. Is
There
that
you go.
better?
Yeah, that's much better. It's a little wider. So you mentioned that you can actually put the battery in the front or in the back, right?
Yeah. So this whole battery cradle, you can actually put it over here. I watched Harley's video. I think Harley has a nice 3D file that he drew up in Fusion.
Okay.
If you want to mount your ESC over here or your receiver, because that is one of the downsides. That was a very valid point that he had. This fuel cell in the back, where you would usually think to perhaps put a receiver, it of course also completely tilts forward. So with that, you need some excessively long wires to,
Yeah,
to actually use it as such.
that's true. Yeah, especially if you put the receiver and the ESC or a small ESC something in there, but the
Well,
receiver could
there's
go.
plenty of room here to do something.
Now, where did you put your receiver? Your ESC and all that is in the front where
My,
the motor usually
my
goes.
receiver is here on the floorboard. Not sure if
Okay.
you can see. And then the ESC is here in the front. I also wish that they, and don't address that in my video, but I wish they had kept like some sort of protected channel behind the battery tray, so you can just, I don't know, put your motor wires in there or your servo wires, because right now it is a bit exposed if you run any type of electronic in the front.
Okay.
Here, it's
Yeah.
not a big deal, but
Cool. Now, do you have a trail walker close by, just to put it beside to see the difference wheelbase? Because theoretically, they're going to be pretty close to the same.
yeah, it's I think it's half an inch difference.
Half an inch, okay. Look at that. We're getting a private tour of his collection too.
Let's see if this works.
Yeah, it's quite significant. Yeah, it's not bad. But it's not. It's nice how the tires stick out and how you can actually use that other body to go on it. It is narrower body, which still good, still looks good. But on that truck, it actually looks awesome.
It's of course, if you go nitpicking, it's a totally different scale body.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yep, do look good, man. That interior in that trail walker looks good.
Yeah, so I cut mine out with as a T-top.
T-top.
You see?
Yeah, you come out with the craziest and good ideas.
So this is actually, let me see if I got that right. This is a Proline Jeep Cherokee body.
Okay.
And I cut it to fit this this trail walker.
So the width was kind of okay. You just trimmed it a little bit and.
Oh yeah, definitely. The width was actually perfect, and then
Okay.
I trimmed the back portion of that. Yeah, what do you call it? This bed that
The
they
bed, yeah.
had, the trail walker body.
Okay.
Cut that out. I cut the rear window out,
Looks great.
and I bobbed it. So this is actually I took an inch out of the length.
Okay. Some people want to know if you can, if you could show it beside a bomber and Capra, if you have one, if that'd be great. If you have another truck.
My bomber doesn't have any wheels on it.
Oh.
So that will be a bit of an issue.
Those trucks are way too clean.
Yeah, clean everything. Well, this is pretty much identical to the Capra.
Cool. So barbecue altered RC says the guy does fantastic work. Talking about you, his new studio is perfect.
Really that is really kind.
Cool.
Yeah, well, I got like my little crawler collection over here for most part.
Yeah, it's too bad HPI. I certainly hope they do come back. It's they've came out with such great products, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to have one of their builders kits.
Okay.
So that one I still need to do up. If you see anything here that you want me to show, just shout.
Cool. There's another element.
Yeah, this is the one with the IFS installed.
Okay. Now the only thing with the IFS, it does come down a lot. That's the only downfall of that IFS.
Well, what they did is it has some. Yeah, it comes down a bit, but then you got like a different shock hoop or shock,
Okay.
however you want to put that, to kind of compensate that. So I guess that.
But for really scale people, if they want really like a Ford with IFS or a Chev or whatever format, if they really want it, they can have it. A couple guys did try it here, and it ran okay. It's just you do have to get used to it.
Yeah, I got. Well, you'll see that in the future on the channel. I got a Trail Runner 2. So I'm really happy with that one. Also going to do some custom paint on that one. But most likely, I'm not sure yet. It could be that the IFS from my Sendero, that will actually end up in the Gatekeeper.
Okay.
Not sure yet.
Cool. So the new Gatekeeper, what are your thoughts about it? Do you think it's like, I know you've already said it's got a lot of potential and things like that. Do you? It's a out of 10, 1 out of 10. What do you think it is?
Out of 10, I would say, well, I didn't know the sticker price yet, because, well, again, mine was like sort of like a pre-production,
Yeah.
pre-release. But seeing that it's $300, I say out of 10, it's an 8.5,
Okay.
because it's basically fully upgraded, and
Yeah.
whatever you do not need is not included.
Yeah.
So what you always see, the first complaint that people have with any truck, wheels and tires, right? Even with high-end trucks, so even with a Vanquish, with like a 410, people don't like the wheels and tires that are included, so they chose to just leave those out, which I think is great.
I think it's great too because the wheels and tires, everybody lives in a different area of the world. Therefore, different temperature, different humidity, different everything. So tires are going to be completely different. They're going to perform different than a guy that lives in the desert compared to me, the guy that lives up more north.
100%, and everybody has a different opinion about
Yeah,
foams.
yeah,
Some people like to run softer foams in the back. Some people like to run softer foams in the front. So yeah, you can never please anybody with include, or everybody, I should say, with wheels and tires. So I think they left out what they knew immediately would get criticized anyway, and they included everything that you need to actually have a really durable platform. Because I can easily see this becoming my throw around rig, but
throw
also
down rig.
just that you give a friend the controls, a friend who is completely unfamiliar with RC. Because I mean, this thing, you can drive it into a wall and nothing will happen to it. It's really well built
Hmm.
if you put it together correctly, of course.
Yes, of course. It's neat where it's going and all that. And like I mentioned at the beginning of my stream, I do have one on order, so hopefully it's going to get here soon.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I think that I'm not sure what type of drivers you use, but if you think that you're going to put it together in a matter of 4 hours using hand drivers, prepare to be completely disappointed, because it's going to take you at least double that.
oh yeah, good, good.
Yeah, it's really a ton of pieces, and especially with that whole roll cage as well. And I'm not even talking about paint or like decorating it, but there's a ton of ingenuity. I always tell people, if you really want to know what a truck is about, get the kit. That also goes for the SE10 version 3. If you really want to appreciate the amount of engineering that goes into it, buy the kit. That's also why I was really happy that I had the independent front suspension kit to
Okay.
put on the Sendero, because that gives you a good feel of the amount of engineering that a company puts into making a change to a platform. So I'm saying, if you buy the Trail Runner, you don't get that to experience that type of joy,
Yeah.
and the type of appreciation that you would find if you would install a separate kit.
Hmm.
And I'm no different with this Gatekeeper. Seeing that it is a kit and being able to put it together, it really gives you a bit of an insight inside the company, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. It's
Yeah, and I think that is great, especially seeing that it's such a new brand.
yeah.
And I know that it's like an associated side branch, but they managed to set this up, well, pretty rapidly actually. So yeah, nothing but good stuff there.
Hmm. I can't wait to see how that hard plastic is going to perform in the winter also, because the harder the plastic is, more brittle it's going to be. But I don't have a tendency to drive my truck in the winter much, but I do. So
Believe it or not, I actually do. So perhaps that's why they sent me one of these, just to see how it will perform in a sub-zero in Norway. But well, despite it feeling super stiff, all that plastic, I do think that it has just the right amount of give for it to actually survive in winter.
okay, good.
But I guess we will see. You never really know what happens to plastic when it goes sub-zero.
Yeah, true.
Seen with other brands that had incredibly durable plastics, like for example, Arma, that suddenly something changes, a minor change in the production process, and suddenly everybody is snapping bottom A arms.
Yeah.
So yeah, you never know. But so far, what I've seen, everybody's really happy with the type of plastic that they have. And I mean, this is something that has been used by many people in the last winter as well. So
Good.
yeah, I got high hopes actually.
Good. Yeah, with plastic, you never know. Even Traxxas, when they came out with the Rustler 4x4, they said, "Oh, this is the new hardened dry shaft," and everybody was snapping them. So
Exactly. And the RPM, well, you know RPM,
RPM, yeah,
right?
yeah,
They've also had. I mean, I'm used to like running Bajas with RPM arms.
okay,
Well, it's a bit hit or miss. So yeah, you never know. You need to be a bit lucky as well, or you need to be really unlucky to take like a weird tumble and snap something anyway.
cool. And before we go, okay, I don't want to keep you here too long, but I'll show you. It's a little dusty right now, but I'll show you the work I've done with my Kyosho truck, which I painted
Yeah,
similar.
yeah, that turned out nice.
Yeah,
You want me to grab my score or to
sure, if you
walk up?
want to. It's much bigger than this, though. Yeah, so I basically copied some of his paint job or the same thing to actually make it look similar to his. Now, mine is probably not, well, probably not probably. It's not as nice as him, as detailed, but it looks pretty good. I like how mine turned out.
Great job on it, Francois.
Thank you. And I did a speckle job on it, and I noticed yesterday I actually broke the grill on it already on the front light. So
Oh, did it take a tumble?
I don't know. I don't even think I hit anything in the front, but I might have to switch to the circle headlights in the front
Yeah,
because it came with both grills. So if I can't find something to fix it, I might leave it that way. Or
might actually look good with some round headlights, don't you think?
yeah, well, it's gonna be a different look, that's for sure. I just like the square headlight look.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
People say the square headlights is more like a Chev, and the round headlights is more like a Ford. So
Yeah.
it probably is. It's just that this is. Other people say square headlights is in the 80s and these round headlights is in the 70s. So,
Yeah, well, there's something there as well, yeah.
but this thing is fun. It's a blast. It's fun truck to drive, and just like the score truck, it's so nice to see it handle on the bumps. It's completely neat.
Well, that kind of circles us around back to the Gatekeeper. I'm thinking that with that trail suspension setup, you will see some really nice slow motion type of realistic suspension with this truck as well.
Okay, yeah, I guess it would. RC Next Tuesday is asking Frank, what channel does Chris enjoy on YouTube? What type of channel do you listen?
The RC channels?
Yeah.
Well, Scale Builders Guild, I enjoy. I enjoy Harley. I think Harley does a great job. I watch Greg from RC Driver.
Okay.
I watch Tony, CCXRC.
Yeah.
I watch RC Girl.
Okay.
Wow, there's plenty, isn't there? As long as it is like a bit constructive, as long as
Okay.
something created. I
Okay.
watched Tank, of course. I mean,
Oh, okay. Gee, thanks.
if I didn't watch you, I wasn't on the show. Yeah, there's pretty much there's a lot of good content out there.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot to watch, and I am subscribed to a lot of people also, and it's so hard to hit everybody and to actually take time to comment on every video. I watch a lot, but I sometimes don't have the time to comment on them. I give a thumbs up and I just leave.
Yeah, well, and some people, of course, also have life happening.
Yeah.
And I mean that's very logical. I've had that when I was building the studio, or when I had like a bit of a health detour, and that's just life. What people kind of look past all too quick is that a lot of us put out 1 to 2 videos a week, and that is a pretty demanding schedule, especially if you have a family. And as soon as life throws you a curveball,
Yep.
then you kind of need to reevaluate if you can actually keep doing what you're doing, or at least in the same frequency. And also, of course, with everybody, I think that's the case. Your interests, they change over time. So you see a lot of people, they play soccer perhaps in their teens and their early 20s, and then suddenly they start playing pool. And I think it is no different with RC. So I greatly enjoyed when I got into the hobby. I enjoyed my large scale RCs and my gas engines, and right now I've kind of slowed down and I like crawlers. But I also like to sort of like mix in different types of content on my channel. And
Okay.
thankfully, I have an audience that is forgiving enough and flexible enough to actually allow me to explore some different sides of me personally while videoing that. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
And I know you, like you mentioned earlier, you were battling some health issues and you stopped smoking. That really helped you. And and then you built your garage, so there was no videos coming from you guys. But like I was patient. I was waiting. I knew you had things going on.
Yeah.
And then now you're back slowly. You're coming back and doing different stuff and showing different stuff. So this is
Yeah.
really
Well,
cool.
for I'm not sure. Most likely, there's some people watching who don't know. I quit smoking back in 2018,
Yeah,
and
I
uh,
remember that.
the day I quit smoking, I thought I had a panic attack, but actually my lung collapsed after I quit
Yeah.
because of coughing. And well, me thinking that I was just like uh, coming off of smoking, and I've smoked my entire adult life. So I thought it was a panic attack. So I walked around with it for approximately a week before I actually consulted my doctor. And my doctor, well, also thought it was a panic attack. So they kind of looked straight past it. So it wasn't another 5 weeks before I actually ended up in the hospital, and they took pictures of it. And that's when they discovered that I was basically walking around with one completely collapsed lung. So I was walking around with half a gas tank, to put it like that. And in addition, with the coughing that I've been doing, trying to like get it back in place, I had also punctured it. So I'm not sure if anybody is well, I hope nobody's familiar with the feeling of drowning, but I've basically been feeling like I was drowning for 6 weeks.
I guess. Yeah.
So that was it was really messed up. So the doctor also said this is what it feels like if you're waterboarded, and
Hmm.
I'll tell you, it's really not fun. So after that, thankfully they've been able to pull it back in place, and thankfully I've been able to exercise enough to where I have a normal, or actually I got a bit more of a lung capacity than is to be expected.
Good.
So I'm really fortunate. And after that, I kind of I don't know. I needed some time for myself as well to reevaluate some stuff. Build this workshop as well. Kind of set things up for the future.
That's good. And it's good for you, good for the hobby, and it's nice to have you back. And now breathing with two lungs must make you give you more strength and more energy also, like to get up and do stuff.
It has put absolutely everything in a whole new
Yeah.
daylight. Because I thought that my state when I had one collapsed lung, that was just my new state, to put it like that. So to be able to breathe with two lungs is well, I'm grateful every day, to be honest.
Yeah. True.
The only thing that frustrates me is that I always feel like I don't have enough time.
Well, it's just like me. Two about 3 years ago, a good 3 or 4 years ago, I found out I was diabetic, and I didn't know. And I was always tired, and I was no energy, and it didn't work out. And then I started taking the pills for diabetic. It really helped me. And just in the past year, I started taking a different kind of pill that actually helps me lose weight also, and helps me regulate more my sugar because it was still up and down, but always high, never down. And I've
Okay.
lost since last Christmas, I've lost about 40 pounds. And
Nice.
let me tell you, it shows a lot, especially when I bend down now. Before I bend down and tie my shoes, I was losing my breath.
Yeah.
So it's not fun. But now I'm more, I got more get up and go and do something outside. Like this summer, I've done so much work in the backyard. It's ridiculous. My wife says she's never seen me outside doing work like I am this year, which is nice. So it's nice to feel good again and being able to do stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, cool. Well, thank you very much for coming in. We're going to stop this stream. We went from talking about Element to more private stuff, but it's all good.
Oh,
We're here to
isn't-
have fun. So we're going to end this. Thank you, everybody that's there in the chat, and we'll see who's there. There's General Hobby still there, and RC Master is still there, and I know there was a whole bunch of different people that were there also earlier. Thank you guys for popping in there. There was Corey Mann, that was there. Travis was there. There was a whole bunch of different people that were there earlier. Thank you guys for coming in, and thank you, Chris, for coming in.
for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So we'll end this short, and you can stay for a minute. Still want to talk to you just for a little bit, but we'll end the live stream. So thanks a lot, guys. Keep having fun with the RCs.